All right, now we're chatting on the couch with Chuck and Lori, and I have just been loving the stories they've been sharing with us. So I'm going to invite Lori, would you please tell us how cannabis has made such a difference in your life, how it supported you through legacy times, and what it means to you now to be legal?
In the legacy times, things were certainly a lot different. We played things very close to the vest, and we certainly didn't share a lot of information during those times. I was definitely growing cannabis for a specific purpose, and it was to make money. I raised my son with a decent lifestyle, and so, you know, it played an integral role in my life for sure. And then, you know, as legalization moved forward, I think we were all pretty skeptical. I think we still are skeptical, but you know, we do see that things might be progressing, some of the regulation changes for next year and things like that. So it hasn't been a very comfortable transition. I won't say that it has been, but I'm still glad that we did it, because this is what we do, this is all we want to do, and we definitely want to be a part of this industry going forward. It is challenging, it is tough, but we're in it for the long haul because we really want to see craft cannabis be where it should be in Canada.
Love it. That's great. Now, Chuck, you've also got some longevity in the cannabis industry. You've won awards. So tell us a bit about your history.
My history, I started growing for fun and for medical use. It was never about the money or anything. It was just about the quality, and knowing what was in the product was the big thing back in the day. So yeah, I started off trimming for some buddies and just learned to grow hydroponically through them back in the days in BC and Cloverdale and Langley, and just kept doing it as fun for ever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I got in trouble and busted in Calgary.
Yeah.
Went to the courts and kind of did my time there, and it was for nothing major, but moved on to my medical license and then found this place under medical and just kept going.
That's amazing.
And
Wow.
Knew that the new market was just hopefully going to be less headache, and it's growing pains and there's issues to work out, but it was the right way to go for sure.
And how would you say that joint venture has helped you through this process?
Joint ventures, well, it gave us access to the market. That our access is limited because we don't have a processing license. So we can't just sell directly to anybody, right? We have to be able to package. And so we rely on joint ventures to do that process for us. And because we're craft growers, we really appreciate the kind of packaging that joint ventures provides. The nitro-charged cans are definitely what we want to put our craft cannabis in, so that when the customer gets it, it is fresh. Because it comes from our facility to their facility and gets packaged right away. So the freshness can't be beat, right? And those nitro charged cans are just perfect. To
Just
hold
preserve
that.
it really
You
well,
bet.
and quite the
bet.
experience.
So they give us access, right? And they give us, some exposure too, obviously. That's another thing where that craft farmers are very limited in how they can market themselves and promote themselves. Just the cannabis industry itself, there's a lot of regulations around promotion and so on. So it's a big challenge. And we don't have a lot of money to spend on advertising or promotion.
Nor time.
Or time. Being a mom and pop operation, there is no time between the regulations and the paperwork and the garden and the maintenance and cleaning and maintaining ACs and dehumidifiers and pumps and chillers, and the list goes on. You just don't have time. And it's awesome that BC Black and JBC can take care of that for us.
Absolutely.
So, it's really nice, and the quality of the canning, big help.
For sure. Helps bring that great product to the market.
And they highlight the growers, right? I mean, certainly it's about them and their brand and their labels and things like that too, for sure. And they do a great job with what they do. But it complements. They truly act like it complements what the growers are doing
Right.
and bringing to the customer,
Absolutely.
that final customer.
Yeah, because that final delivery is so important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
First. So is there anything that you feel would be important for customers to know from a grower's perspective? Like earlier, you were telling us about growing Indica versus growing Sativa, and I was fascinated with the differences between those blends. And I don't think the everyday smoker knows this stuff. So maybe you could kind of lay that out for us.
Well, it kind of depends on a business standpoint nowadays too. It's ore strain and high and terpenes and how long it takes to grow out a true sativa is usually a few more weeks, a couple of months at times for some of them. So with the way the market is nowadays and the way everything's at, you can't really grow those long 12-week sativas
And
when
make
the
money
price
on them.
and the price point reflect that extra month of power and the extra time it takes and all those sort of things. And the terpenes usually start to offset the THC and all that. Those terpenes in those long flower periods usually come out. So there's all these things to offset the the market. But when you're still getting paid the same price on the bulk sale and even in the store side sale, the same price per gram for something that's done in 8 weeks or 6 weeks or 7
Yeah.
compared to your 12-week, you just can't, as a business, a small business especially, you can't invest that time and money.
Like you got to remember that sativas are tall and spindly, and they like to take over a room. So they're big plants,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they want to get bigger, and they will get bigger if you let them. And so they're going to take up a lot more room. And the bud that they grow is typically fluffier and lighter, right? So you're not getting the weight, and you've got plants that take up twice as much room, and they take sometimes twice as long to finish. Not twice as long maybe, but you know, definitely 3 to 4 weeks longer.
Sure. Yeah.
So that costs you more money. And if
Absolutely,
you're
it's
not
a whole
going,
other month of
and that's
expenses.
the
Yeah,
thing.
and one more crop lost every year, or 2 more crops lost every year.
Sativas are fantastic and everybody wants them, but nobody understands that really the bottom line is if you want sativas, you need to pay more for them.
Wow.
That is what will encourage growers to start growing sativas again, because then they're starting to make that money on them to make it possible to grow them. When it
Right.
becomes impossible to grow them, we just have to let them go and grow other things that are more economically feasible.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I mean, with the longer point of time that's involved and the expenses, it's
I wonder
And
if
really,
that's where education comes in, right? When the consumer doesn't know that because they don't grow it, they just need to be told, you know what, your sativa that you really want, the reason why it's more expensive is because it's more expensive to grow. And if they see it and know that and understand it, they're gonna be okay with it.
that's right.
Yeah.
But if we maybe are not buying from a craft grower who gives the care and attention, they might be chopping that girl down like she's
That's
not
right.
ready.
Absolutely.
You're not
Yeah.
getting the best product, and
Yeah.
so that's why choosing to, support a craft grower is
Yeah.
probably a better decision. You're just getting that better quality product.
Yeah, your craft grower that's growing a sativa, they're gonna finish the painting, right? Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna make sure that girl is ready to come down and everything's as developed as it's gonna be.
All the
right?
colors in the plant and the terpene profile looks to be there and everything just
Yeah.
then you harvest it. There's no set date really with the sativa, unfortunately.
Just
Like they kind of
okay.
choose when
They
they want to
kinda
be
do.
done. You just hope you're close to their timing.
Well, these are the types of attention to detail that really matter to me. This is the type of cannabis that I want to consume. I just have really enjoyed this time with both of you. Thank you so much for sharing yourselves. not
Thanks
only
for
about
coming. We
today and your
appreciate it.
history. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much, both of you.
You're very
Thank you.
welcome. Thanks
Thank you.
for coming.
My pleasure.